At Trafford, the players arriving very early in daylight in preparation for Leicester City in the round of 16 of the Carabao Cup. We don't have pictures of Ruud Nistelrooy. We think he's actually been sleeping at Old Trafford, such as his preparation and the emergency action that has been taken behind the scenes. United under temporary management, and Ruud van Nistelrooy mixing things up tonight, trying to get reaction from a bunch of players who've been rather shell-shocked that their manager Erik ten Hag has been replaced. Steve Cooper and his players arriving at the stadium. They're in good form at the moment. They've won 2 of their last 3 games, but he has used the League Cup as an opportunity to mix things up. And there'll be a number of players who are in the spotlight tonight that haven't been playing too often in the Premier League this season. Can they spring an upset? Good evening and welcome to Old Trafford. Manchester United against Leicester City. It's good to see the focus is back on the football, Courtney, after 48 hours of mayhem in Manchester.
Yeah, and it's obviously a big night for the club with everything that's happened behind the scenes. You've got a former legend as well in the dugout, so they'll be out to impress tonight, Manchester United, but Leicester will be looking to obviously spoil the party.
It's all change at Old Trafford. Interim manager Ruud van Nistelrooy will be given a very warm reception from the Manchester United supporters. Those that remember him, it's 2006 when he finished as a player. Ironically, he fell out with Sir Alex Ferguson over a League Cup final. But he's back, living the dream, holding the reins and trying to righten what has been a lilting ship of late.
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? I remember him very well, so I'm probably showing my age with that. There was a lot of fans, including ones there, that probably don't remember him first time round. Maybe they've been looking on YouTube at clips, but you know, it's obviously, you know, being in this position at your old club, it's a big job. You're always in the hot seat regarding Manchester United, so regardless of Amarin potentially coming in, as it looks like, Ruud van Nistelrooy will be looking to impress tonight.
There's Fred the Red. Will he be the lucky mascot for Manchester United? They've won only 3 of their 6 home games this season, and the supporters have got a big part to play tonight in getting behind Ruud van Nistelrooy and the players. It's interesting, we were both listening to the local radio before the game, and the reporter was having to explain who Ruud van Nistelrooy was to a number of the younger players, younger supporters, should I say. I think it'd be fair to say they are probably the most underperforming team in Europe at the moment. United currently sitting in 14th place in the Premier League, or is it 21st place in this new look Europa League as well?
Yeah, for a club as big as Manchester United worldwide, it's not befitting of them, but the fact of the matter is you have to perform on the pitch. They've not been doing that, and they'll be looking now to welcome in this new era at the minute under Van Nistelrooy.
team selection manoeuvre. He does make 4 changes of the 11 that started against West Ham. Rested Anana, Mazraoui, Eriksson and Højlund. Given a shot, Lindelof, Ugarte, Xerxes and Olte Bayendir is the cup keeper. No signs of a revolutionary formation. That may well come with a new coach. In contrast, Steve Cooper has made mass changes. Only Caleb Okoli and James Justin remain from Friday night's defeat to Nottingham Forest. He's given the fringe players the glare of the Old Trafford spotlight. Conor Cody starts only his 2nd game of the season, skippers the side. Players to look out for tonight? For you, Courtney?
Yeah, I've gone for Marcus Rashford for Manchester United. In this competition, in his last 5 starts, he's scored in every one, so he will be looking to get on the score sheet tonight. It's an important night for him. He needs to be one of the leaders as one of the experienced players on the pitch. On the other side, I've gone for Casey McAteer. He's not had much of a chance this season. Had a really good start to the season last season, but it was blighted by injury. Such a bright young player, so this start for him tonight will be really important to try and work himself back into the squad on a regular basis.
Well, an old favourite blaring out from the tannoy at Old Trafford, an old favourite in the dugout, taking over the reins in these uncertain times. The referee tonight is Andy Madley, who's in charge of the FA Cup final against Manchester City. And of course, he doesn't have VAR. We don't get to the semi-finals. How Erik ten Hag wished they didn't have VAR at the weekend against West Ham United. Well, I'm sure that Ruben Amorim is watching somewhere. As the speculation grows over the replacement for Ten Hag, it looks as though it's going to be just a short spell for Ruud van Nistelrooy. But can the players in red, white and black emulate the man who goes down as one of the greats in the club's playing history? Hasn't made mass changes, just a tinkering with the team, but as a manager he'll want to impress tonight, just in case, won't he, Courtney? Yeah,
of course, you never know, and this might be one of one for him, so he'll want to go out with a 100% record, a good performance, and if you can say, you've gone and won 4-5-0, that would be ideal. And I think, he mentioned it before the game, didn't he? There's, in terms of the lack of numbers, so we can't tinker too much, but I think regardless, Manchester United still would have put out a strong side to make a statement at the moment.
Well, Ten Hag always pointed to winning the FA Cup and the League Cup in his 2 seasons in charge. And United hoping to make it to the quarter-finals, but Ruud van Nistelrooy, it's been a long road to become the manager of Manchester United. He actually started out as the assistant for the Netherlands national team. And then he had almost a season in charge of PSV Eindhoven. He actually resigned with a game to go. There's Lindelof alongside De Ligt tonight. He's at Lisandro Martinez, moves over to the left of the defence. There's Casemiro. A lot of youngsters on the bench, but familiar faces in the starting 11 for United tonight.
We've spoken a lot about Manchester United, but I think it's worth obviously mentioning Leicester City coming into this. They've made the quarter-final, I think, the last 5 years, and not too far apart in the Premier League table. Had a tough start to the season, but have started to accrue points under Steve Cooper. So I want to come here tonight and make a big statement here at Old Trafford.
Absolutely, our apologies to Leicester fans, as the focus has been on United from the start. But Steve Cooper was saying before the game that's just how he likes it. He's happy playing the part of underdogs. After, of course, they were the bigger club in the previous 2 rounds against Tranmere Rovers and on penalties against Walsall last time around. It is a cup they like. They have won the League Cup in its various guises on 3 occasions and been beaten in 2 previous finals as well. It could be argued that they have the stronger pool of players for him to dip into at the moment. He's made 9 changes tonight, but it doesn't necessarily weaken the side. There's a lot of experience, a lot of promise in that Leicester team tonight.
Yeah, there is, and a lot of very good players on the bench. I agree. I think Leicester City have got the stronger bench, and Facundo Buonanotte is the main one that sticks out to me. I think he's been absolutely brilliant this season. So the fact that they can rest him probably shows that the strength and depth they feel they have at the moment.
As to be expected, it's Manchester United setting the tone of the game. Which part of Marcus Rashford are we going to see tonight? Scored, as you said, 5 goals in 6 games against Leicester, 10 goals in his last 9 starts in this particular competition, including a couple against Barnsley earlier in the season. Ayew. Alcanis. Leicester settling into their surroundings. Sumare. Okole to Connor Cody. Thomas. Leicester did win their last away game. They went to Southampton. You may remember they turned it around 2-0 down to spectacularly win by 3 goals to 2. Decordova-Reid. Was he manhandled? He was starting at the beginning of the season, Decordova-Reid. Came on a free transfer from Fulham, but has struggled to get into the starting 11. Steve Cooper is finally winning over the Leicester supporters.
It's taken a while. I think when you take the trip down from the A46 down from Nottingham, there'll always be a bit of a raised eyebrow, but as you mentioned now, he is turning it round. And going back to Decordova-Reid, I think when you've got Mavididi and obviously Fatawu in the squad who have been playing very well in those wide areas, it's been very hard for Decordova-Reid to break through to the starting 11.
Xerxes gives the ball away. Connor Cody misses out the midfield. El Canus on that far side of the field. They have been playing, of course, with Jamie Vardy at the head of an attacking diamond, but maybe a slightly different shape for Leicester tonight.
Yeah, and I think you mentioned obviously Jamie Vardy, and it's important they can try and rest him where possible. El Canus as well, as I mentioned. Buonanotte's been fantastic, so playing time for El Canus has been somewhat limited. It's an important night for him tonight, show what he's about.
There's Bayindir, who Phil Van Nistelrooy said he was sticking with as the cup keeper, and no, it's a slip in there. Xerxes is away. Does he go solo? Drops the shoulder and maybe just lack that little bit of confidence. Garnacho just gives him the stare.
I think Bruno Fernandes wasn't overly happy as well. There was a couple over that side to his left that probably were in a better position.
One thing that Ruud van Nistelrooy will have to work on, he won't have much time on the training ground, but behind the scenes is the team togetherness. Quite often you find that the players are as clueless as the supporters when it comes to what is happening in the hierarchy of clubs. Rashford puts a bit of spin on it. It's the first corner of the evening for Manchester United.
You mentioned him saying that, Van Nistelrooy. I thought it was really interesting talking about that fight, that togetherness, and I do think it's something that's very much been lacking from Manchester United, so we'll certainly be looking to be able to bring that togetherness again.
Fernandes. Rashford tried to throw it through back to Fernandes, but Leicester trying to escape at speed. Ayew, dangerous pull back. Skip.
I think Ayew's actually been a really clever signing for Leicester. I think initially maybe a few raised eyebrows, but you think about the experience he's got in the Premier League. He's already popped up with a few important goals, and he works ever so hard for the team as well.
He's got a spectacular goal against Tranmere Rovers in Leicester's first game in this competition. You can say he's a veteran striker, but he's considerably younger than Jamie Vardy. There's Lindelof. Dalot, who had that big miss at the weekend against West Ham United. But Dalot is a constant in the United team this season. He started every game in every competition. It's a bit of a rarity. Martinez. And maybe a revolution coming at Manchester United, but there's a familiarity amongst these players. Martinez has left his spot on the left-hand side, and it needed the leak to come to United's rescue. The danger isn't over yet, though. Ayew looking for the gap, but a comfortable save for Bayinda.
Well, this is where you see Dalot is going on the inside and trying to add to that midfield, but when it breaks like that and Leicester move it quickly, you see that the channels are wide open.
Here is Garnacho to Fernandes. Not the sharpest of passes from Fernandes, and a sloppy foul from Garnacho.
It's one of those, there wasn't too much in it, but Skip's clever, and Garnacho's just a bit naive. As soon as you start putting arms on the back of the defender, as soon as they feel that they're going to go down and take the free kick.
Yes, of course, the first shot on target in the game. Saw the channel, went for it, but one that the Turkish international goalkeeper will take all night. United won the last two games between these sides. You sought out Rashford before the game. He scored 2 goals the last time they met here at Old Trafford, which was February 2023. There is Rashford.
He's got a big job, Rashford. He's not a young kid anymore. He's been around for so long, obviously broke onto the scene as such a young player, but he's got a big responsibility now with this squad that he needs to take on his shoulders, obviously coming up through the academy as well. So in terms of those values, again, that Ruud van Nistelrooy was speaking about before the game, he needs to embody them and really step up.
Xerxes coming and looking for the ball, as to be expected. Manchester United bossing it in the opening 10 minutes or so of the game. Decordova-Reid. Good defending from Matthijs de Ligt, one of the many Ajax players signed by the previous manager.
It's interesting how that will look going forward as well, when you say there's so much of an imprint now with Ten Hag and what he wanted, and how's Amorim going to deal with that?
Casemiro. One of the issues of the PSR is that United are spending a lot of the money bringing in a new coach and his coaching staff and paying off the previous coach, so there may not be a big purse of money to dip into in the winter transfer window. To be revolutionary tactics rather than revolutionary signings.
Yeah, but you think about the signings and the money spent, they've still not worked. So it's about, I think, bringing a feeling back into this football club, a way of playing it, being determined and aggressive on the ball that has been lacking for quite a while now at Manchester United.
Soumare, little teaser on the blind side of Dalot. It's lazy from Dalot, and McAteer is onto it very quickly.
Really gets away with one there, Dalot. As you said, he's actually one of the more consistent performers for Manchester United, but not sure what he's thinking there. It's very lazy, and McAteer can't quite profit from it. Well,
an opportunity for a number of the fringe players to impress Steve Cooper, who be wise to the squad that he's inherited, and they made a bundle of signings in the summer as well. And of course, the team have done well in the League Cup. He tends to have a settled side when it comes to the Premier League. He's always a manager that had an open mind. He needed to when he's at Nottingham Forest with the squad that they had there.
Yeah, and I think they've been astute with their signings, really, the loans they've brought in as well, and in terms of that money that they've used from Kiernan Dewsbury Hall, that sale, I think they've used it quite well. They've got depth in the squad, and just looking at the subs bench as well, young Will Alves is on the bench. He's come through the academy, had a horrendous ACL injury against Wolverhampton, playing for the underages, so it's good to see him back on the bench.
Casemiro driving through midfield, but he was tackled fairly in the eyes of the referee by Ollie Skip. Okoli looking wide for Justin, the two players who remain from the weekend. Only two survive from Friday night football against Nottingham Forest. Luke Thomas. For some of these players making progress in the Cup, and maybe the FA Cup when it comes around in January is their best chance of getting regular football.
Yeah, it might be, as you mentioned, because Steve Cooper and the Premier League likes a settled team, doesn't like to change it too much, and it's good for when you're playing that consistency, but when you're not in the squad, minutes are few and far between, and you've got to take your opportunities when they come.
Danny Ward clears the ball. He's anticipating a busier night than this. Casemiro to Martinez. Now Garnacho. Fernandes, little step over. Casemiro, shooters the demand. Oh, did he shoot? Van Nistelrooy celebrating like he scored it himself, and he would have been very proud of that one. Brilliant from the Brazilian. That has lifted the mood around Old Trafford.
Well, there's a lot to like about this goal. First, in terms of the run from Garnacho down that left-hand side, makes it early, it's deliberate, and it's the run that makes the ball at times. And he does well, he keeps the ball. There's a little dummy in here as well. I think the ball initially goes into, or it's looking for Fernandes, and there must be a shout because he leaves it for Casemiro there. And this is a wonderful finish. Casemiro, a player that's come for a lot of stick from the Manchester United fans, but there's one way to get back into the hearts, and it's doing that, popping one in right in the top bins. It's a wonderful finish, and Leicester haven't done too much wrong, but they find themselves 1-0 down because that is a wonderful finish.
An open invitation, gleefully accepted. Casemiro's second goal in successive games. It's good to see a Manchester United manager expressing himself and enjoying the job on the touchlines. Right, how do Leicester react to that? It was soft defending. Can they up their game? This is Dalot.
I think they'll be really disappointed because, as I mentioned, not done too much wrong, but you can't leave a player like Casemiro in that much space around the edge of the box. The defending wasn't quick enough, it wasn't aggressive enough.
Martinez. Good defending from Justin. Zirkzee tries to get that. This is better from Manchester United. Rashford flies it across the face of goal. Garnacho hangs it in the air, and Ward will be happy to just slow down the heartbeat of the game.
I think Garnacho's trying to do the right thing, though, in terms of heading it back across the box to find a teammate. But you see there's just a bit of an injection of pace now for Manchester United. They've got that goal. The Old Trafford crowd are behind them now, and it's unfortunate for Garnacho that he can't find Zirkzee, but in terms of winning the ball back on the edge of the box and that injection of pace, you can tell the goals lifted them.
There is Casemiro. Will certainly bring leadership to the midfield. He's been a winner all of his career. Been a bit of a foreign feeling when signing for Manchester United, but he has got 2 medals from his previous 2 seasons. In the autumn years of his career, 32 years of age. And they've got him on contract for another 2.
Yeah, well, when you think Jamie Vardy's still running about at his age, he's got a long way to go yet, Casemiro. He's got quite a few years left in him.
Ward comes a long way out. Good stretch, does well to keep it in play here. McAteer. Well, he knew what he wanted to do, but he wasn't able to pull it off.
He's tried that ball, hasn't he? The little one with the outside of the foot, got it completely wrong.
Slightly concerning there for Casey McAteer, who did start against Tranmere, came on against Walsall, but he's only played in one of the last 7 games. He seems to have injured himself.
Yeah, I think he almost runs into Casemiro there and trips, but as you say, it's worrying. He spent a lot of last season out injured, I think 3 different periods of injury, so really halted the good start to the season that he had.
It's amazing how many players have run into Casemiro over the years, isn't it? The elite lets it run back. Onana isn't in the matchday squad today, but it didn't stop him joining in. Andre Onana was out there. They always like a goalkeeper to fly the ball past as they're practicing their shooting before the game, and he was more than willing to become that sparring partner. The referee felt that was a foul on Fernandes. As you can see, the Leicester defender looks completely shocked at the decision, and even more shocked that it warrants a yellow card for Okoli. Who, me?
I'm surprised as him, to be honest. They didn't look too much in that. Yeah, I mean, there's a tug of the shirt. Fernandes certainly makes the most of it. There's no surprise there. Does it warrant a yellow card? I'm not too sure. I think as you do that as a referee, you set your stall out very early.
He's certainly got a full handful of the number 8 shirt of Manchester United. He knows what it's like to fall out with officialdom himself this season, doesn't he, Bruno Fernandes? Well, Ward's nerves may be a little shredded here. It's almost the same square of grass that Casemiro had the shot from that gave United the lead 5 minutes ago. Rashford, the wall was well placed, well built. Okoli's taken one to the ribs.
It's a difficult angle, especially trying to get that up and over the wall on the angle as well. There's a lot to do.
Rashford. Flag stays down, and then he remembers he doesn't have VAR to fall back on, so he has to go with his instincts.
A wry smile from the assistant there.
The trigger reaction, of course, as a Premier League assistant referee is to let things flow, let play develop, but in the League Cup they don't have the luxury, if you can call it that, of the VAR team, so they've got to raise the flag when they think it's offside.
Yeah, and I do think Garnacho went early. I think Connor Cody was the furthest defender back, but I think just strayed half a yard off him.
Thomas. Here's Ayew. Shakes off 3 Manchester United players. Ugarte chasing him down and catching him. Andy Madley, I think, was willing to let things roll on there, but he caught Ayew in full flight and it hurt.
Yeah, Declan Overreed down that right-hand side was away. The referee using his instinct there to stop the game for a free kick.
Ugarte came in from Paris Saint-Germain, but he did spend some time at Sporting of Lisbon maybe a potential manager that knows of his talents firsthand. Bilal El Kanous stands over the ball, gives it one little bounce, which will be a signal to the boys in blue on the edge of the Manchester United penalty area. It means it's going to be floated towards Conor Cody. It's the Leicester spotted Victor Lindelof in the central defence. He hasn't played, didn't play, should I say, in 10 games. Only started one match this season. That was against Fenerbahce. Thomas looking for movement. Xerxes, I don't think he's made a pass to one of his teammates yet. Cordova-Reid doesn't get that.
Really struggled to get into the game, Xerxes. And as you say, even when he's then dropping in and trying to get on the ball, his passes are loose, and you've got to make sure when you're playing that number 9 role, when the ball comes into you, it's got to stick. You've got to keep hold of it or find a teammate, and so far for him he's done neither.
Bayinda misses out the midfield, but it's not a good pass from the keeper. Martinez, Fernandez, Casemiro. When you say these names in the same sentence, you realise the talent that they do have at Old Trafford, and just why 14th place, only 7 points above the relegation zone, required a change of direction. Garnacho, Rashford, bit of freestyling between the two of them. Rashford's onside, but the pass isn't good enough, and Justin intercepts, clears his lines.
Garnacho will be really disappointed with himself. It's a good little passage of play. Rashford does really well to keep himself onside, but the weight of pass wasn't good enough.
Both sides have had a couple of shots in the opening quarter of this game. One on target each, but the one that counted, of course, is the Casemiro one, which flew past the ears of Danny Ward. Cody, lovely touch from Cordova-Reid. Well, it did look there as though Dalot was keeping the Leicester players on side. The furthest man forward there was James Justin. Yeah,
you took the words out of my mouth. I think you've got to take that ball and think later as James Justin, because Dalot was certainly looked like he was playing him on side.
We have the power of replays.
Ooh, very, very close. I think he might have just strayed offside, but I think that's where maybe you want a more forward-thinking player, because if he bends his run there, he's clean through, and it just shows again that back line of Manchester United at times can be at 6s and 7s, and would have been easy to exploit there if the run was right.
Ugarte playing alongside Casemiro. Many thought that he'd come in to replace Casemiro in the summer, the Uruguayan international. He made the team of the tournament at the Copa America in the last edition. It's a clever turn here from Dalot, puts in the early ball, chance for a second, superb second! Garnacho on the sharp end of a superb Manchester United move. Ruud van Nistelrooy is having a ball.
It's a wonderful finish, but the ball for me is incredible. As a forward player, this is what you want, an early ball into the space behind the back line that you can run onto. And don't get me wrong, there is a lot to do with this finish, but we know what a talented player Garnacho is. Dalot does ever so well, lets the ball bounce across him so he can get it at his feet and put it across first time. Good little dink in as well from Casemiro. And what about this for a finish? He knows he has to go high with it to beat Ward. You see a lot of players there. Hit that, flies over the bar. Really good, accomplished finish from Garnacho.
Well, he's the baby of the team. He's only 20 years of age, but he's most certainly the star of the team. Leading scorer as well, his 6th of the season.
I couldn't agree more. He's been one of the most consistent performers in the last few months, last season as well.
Well, Steve Cooper is very angry on the touchline. It appears that the officials, but his defence seemed to go AWOL then.
Yeah, I think he's asking for offside, potentially the ball into Dalot, I imagine.
There's certainly a huge gap in the Leicester defence to be exploited by Manchester United. Dalot couldn't believe his luck with the workspace that he had.
I must admit though, I did clock Dalot just look across to the right hand side when the ball went in.
Cody. Where is Justin? A feature of the Leicester players, they're getting both of their full-backs forward. That means that they're leaving it in a 2-on-2 situation at the back quite often.
That's the thing, and then when you think you've got the pace...
Oh, Cody has given it away. Fernandez passed on the responsibility, but it seemed the obvious thing to do was shoot himself.
Yeah, he's in two minds, and then when that ball does come across, it's got to be better. The weight of pass is terrible, quite frankly, and I think he's too busy thinking what to do rather than making a decision early.
29 goals in the previous 2 seasons. He's not off the mark yet this year, Bruno Fernandes.
I probably think when he's confident, there's no doubt he takes that on. So as you say, the fact that he's not got off the mark this season, maybe second guess the moment.
Xerxes. Casemiro caught in possession by Ayew. Nakatia. El Carnus. Yeah, I think he was thinking about the cross and then went for the shot. Well, he's still spitting feathers down on the shop floor, Steve Cooper.
Let's see if we can see why and unpick this. So you can't see from that angle whether he's kept himself on side, Dalot, but no doubt about the finish, it's wonderful. Van Nistelrooy, another one he'd have been proud of.
I just wonder if these United players have been watching old videos of Ruud van Nistelrooy, seeing who he was as a player. Forget how young they are, because they finished like him tonight.
I think he was an unbelievable forward when I was young, growing up, watching centre forwards that I wanted to try and emulate. Obviously I got absolutely nowhere near it because he was world class, but one of the best finishers I think I've ever watched, and someone that talks very fondly about him is Paul Scholes and sort of the relationship they used to have on the pitch.
Heavy challenge by De Ligt. It's the second time that Ayew has been floored in this game. The referee is strolling over to the touchline. It's been a barrage of complaint from Steve Cooper since that second goal was scored.
It's hard, isn't it? Because you maybe look from the outside and say, you know what, you need to simmer down. There's no point. The referee's not going to change their mind. But when the emotion gets the better of you and you feel wronged, it's hard to pull that back.
I'm always surprised that he's so critical of officials, because his dad was a top-class old First Division referee himself. Thomas looking for the far post. Here's Cody. But all of the tall players in there, Leicester City. Goalkeeper Bayindir uncertain. Oh! Off the post, off both posts, and Leicester City are back in it. He's got a smile on his face now as El Carnus was deadly accurate.
Well, it's a brilliant finish. That man there is very disappointed. Not too sure about the goalkeeping here. Didn't look overly confident for my liking, buying there, but take nothing away from this. In terms of, you see the technique, has to keep it low. Knee and hip over the ball. Bouncing ball as well, so difficult. Manchester United might think they're unlucky the fact it comes off both posts. But either way, I don't think they defend it well enough.
Well, a big moment for Bilal Kanous. He was the summer signing. And he gets off the mark for Leicester City. Nobody dreams of scoring at Old Trafford, don't they? Ugarte to Garnacho. How do Manchester United react? Good from Rashford. Rashford across the face of goal. Walters just enough, and then he's bailed out by Cody.
This is what Manchester United fans want to see from Marcus Rashford. When he's at full fly, when he's got a smile on his face, when he's confident, taking players on with that pace. In terms of the crossing, wasn't the best, but it's certainly more positive from him.
It's like a game of basketball, this. One team attacks, the other attacks. It's United's turn. Dalot was unmarked, though. He could have got a better purchase on that. Garnacho has to be quick, taken down in full flight by El Kanous. He knew he'd done wrong. He's just trying to get himself out of the referee's notebook now.
Yeah,
Free kick suffice. It
doesn't matter how quickly you put your arms up in that position when you've completely taken the player out. There's no getting away with that. But that's clever, by the way, from Fernandes. Everyone's expecting the ball to come back in, but arrows it into Garnacho's feet. Can't quite get it out quick enough to get the shot off, so it's clever to draw the foul.
1 minute the hero, the next minute a bit of a villain.
Such a dangerous position, this, because it's central to the goal, unlike the first free kick that Rashford had. The only thing I would say is maybe slightly too close to get it up and over the wall.
You gave it away. You could become the human draft excluder.
The job that no footballer wants.
They've had a committee meeting, and it appears that it's going to be Bruno Fernandes. Sandro Martinez is a left-footed player, but it's Fernandes who goes through the wall. 3-1 Manchester United. It's a shower of goals at Old Trafford. And Fernandes is off the mark for the season. Things are changing around here.
Well, it's smiles all around. This one is a bit fortuitous. Then you're thinking back to that challenge from El Kanous, putting his side in danger. Takes a massive deflection off James Justin. Completely changes the direction of the ball. Fernandes trying to wrap it in that top right-hand corner. Nothing that Danny Ward can do about that one.
Bruno Fernandes is being given the goal inside the stadium. I don't think that James Justin is going to argue with him.
It was on target, wasn't it? I know it takes a massive deflection, but as you say, James Justin won't be arguing to take the own goal.
Andrew Ward may say that he'd have saved it had he not taken the diversion on the way. Tumare. Ugarte digging in. Xerxes steps out of the way. Can he join the goal-scoring party? Garnacho. Ward with an uncertain block as he was left completely exposed by his Leicester defence.
There's just red shirts flying forward. Garnacho gets the ball there, but look at Marcus Rashford on the right. He's made a brilliant run off the back shoulder of Thomas. He's in acres of space. Every time they go forward, Manchester United, they look threatening. Bruno Fernandes as well wanted that one cut back. He was by the penalty spot looking for his second. He's got a taste for it now. He's got his first one.
He's always hungry for goals. Taken short and quickly, Xerxes in there, off the post, and Casemiro sweeps it in for his second. Blink tonight and you'll miss a goal. That man's always enjoyed celebrating a Manchester United goal. Casemiro's not on the score sheet too often. He's now looking for a hat-trick.
Well, the Manchester United fans wanted a reaction, and they've certainly got it. We can talk about the defending, but this is a reaction from these Manchester United players to want to go forward, to do it with purpose, to put the ball in the back of the net. You see here initially, comes off the woodwork, it's his initial header, Casemiro, but then he reacts. He doesn't rest on his laurels. He's not got his head in his hands because he's hit the woodwork. He's on his front foot, ready to put the rebound in. It's a good finish, by the way. No, it's only a few yards out. There's lots of players in front of him, so he knows he has to lift it. It's a really astute finish from a very experienced man. And there's the smile.
He's the fourth player to score a brace in the League Cup for Manchester United this season. They went goals crazy against Barnsley, you may remember, when they beat them 7-0 here. Two that night for Rashford, Garnacho and Eriksen.
No disrespect to Barnsley, but obviously Leicester are a stiffer opposition. So the fact that they're scoring and playing the way they are against Leicester, it's a good omen to start the new tenure.
Xerxes, who did have a hand in that goal, to Rashford. Dalot makes a dart down this right-hand side. Manchester United can smell blood here. Absolutely no let-off for Leicester.
It's a cliche, isn't it? But it is. It's like the shackles are off for Manchester United, and actually players look like they're enjoying themselves. They've got a smile on their face, which we've not seen recently.
That was always the demand at Old Trafford. Flamboyant football. Attack, 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 they sang at Ruud van Nistelrooy as he was signing autographs at the stadium earlier today. They can have no compassion here for Leicester. Leicester did come back, you may remember, against Southampton. 3 goals down. It may be a case of damage limitation. That did look like handball, because it was handball by Soumaré.
This is where the experienced players like Conor Cody in this squad have to make sure now they shut up shop Leicester until the end of this half. Don't concede again.
A confirmation of that yellow card for Steve Cooper. He'll have to bite his lip for the remaining, what have we got, 48 minutes of the evening, 49 minutes of the evening.
Good maths, better than mine.
Manchester United looking for their 5th goal before half-time. He could have had his hat-trick before half-time. He's doing his best impression of Ruud van Nistelrooy.
Well, let's argue that Ruud would have probably put that one away and got his hat-trick, but just nonchalant from Fernandes, just dinks it into an area. Leicester defensive line isn't doing what it should be. He does the right thing, Casemiro, going across the goal, but it has to be in the back of the net.
Well, he gave a very upbeat interview before the game. He certainly looks the part as well. He has the fans on board. Maybe if Ruben Amorim doesn't act quickly, there might be a door opening for Ruud van Nistelrooy.
Interesting to see as well if Amorim is to come in, if Van Nistelrooy does stay on the staff and part of the club. I think it would be important if he did. Someone that knows the Manchester United way.
It does follow recent United legends. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, of course, was a permanent manager. Ryan Giggs had 4 games in charge. Michael Carrick was unbeaten in his 3 games in charge. Ruud van Nistelrooy's team are going for a 5th here. It's Garnacho! Leicester just hoping to make it to half-time, so Steve Cooper can realign his team, because United are ripping them apart.
They're architects of their own downfall at the minute. Leicester giving the ball away, and then Manchester United pouncing on it. Garnacho does well to get the shot off quickly, because you see he's being closed down. It's on the bounce. That's what the manager's saying. I like it, be positive. Yes, you've missed the target, but take the shot on.
Nobody dare leave their seat for the half-time cuppa just yet. Bayindir not feeling so bad about that Leicester goal now. Will disappear into the midst of time if United can keep this up. Zumare. Justin gives it away. Most of Leicester's issues are of their own making.
You can just tell, I think they're all at 6s and 7s. They're not sure what to do when they get on the ball. Those quick-fire goals have really unsettled the side.
4 minutes added to the first half. 4 minutes for Leicester to endure. Cody to Thomas. 9 changes for Leicester has somewhat backfired on Steve Cooper. They've been rattling them in. 11 shots to 4 in the first half. 6 of the 11 on target, 4 of them counting as goals. So Steve Cooper is arguing that one of them shouldn't have done. Here is Justin. Ayew gets in the way, and a soft shot from McAteer.
He knew he had to get it away quickly. It's just a snapshot, because he knew the opportunity was going to disappear rather quickly. Justin's initial touch was poor. McAteer just not enough behind it.
Well, the camera always finds him if he's inside the stadium. Sir Alex Ferguson, who of course is stepping aside from his director's role. I'm just wondering if this is the first appointment that will be made that he hasn't had a hand in, because he's always been one of the directors for the previous appointments. There's a whole team, coach load of management these days at Old Trafford, of course. A big brains trust.
Well, I think that's been the argument, hasn't it, from some of the fans? What all of these people in these positions, what are they actually doing? How are they trying to improve the club? But the way to do it, more importantly, is to get the results on the pitch, and the players are doing their part at the moment.
Double deflection, and Leicester get a goal back through Conor Cody. Another twist in the tail at Old Trafford. That has given Leicester City something to work with. You say keep it tight for the next 2 minutes. We'll settle for 2-4 down at half-time.
Well, exactly. The plan is not to concede, but if you can get one back, even better. This ball, I think it just hits Dalot. Comes off either Delict or Casemiro, can't quite see. Dalot doesn't know anything about it. Conor Cody in the right place at the right time, and even though he doesn't look it, from a man from Merseyside, I'm sure he'll be quite happy about that.
Every Scouser wants to score against Manchester United. They have looked a little porous when they are attacked, Manchester United. But he's got Sir Alex above him in the director's box. And the adage when he was a player and Sir Alex was the manager was you just outscore the opposition.
Well, exactly. This is a real throwback, and it's not looked so good lately as in conceding the goals, and didn't look like they've got the firepower to overhaul teams. But you're right, if you can outscore them, and it doesn't matter, and they're looking good for it at the moment, Manchester United, but won't want to take too many chances, that said.
A little concern that Marcus Rashford has taken a blow to the midriff. I think he just needs time, Mr. Madley.
Fold him rather quickly, won't it?
Oh, Sir Alex is enjoying the excitement and the entertainment up in the leather-bound seats. Is that Brian Robson behind him as well? Paddy Crerand. Got a bad five-a-side team up there. Coley to Justin. Lindelof looking a little uncomfortable. Lindelof and De Ligt haven't looked the perfect partnership. Well, we have a 6-goal thriller at Old Trafford. The star of the show undoubtedly being Casemiro, who's shown Van Nistelrooy-like skills in front of goal to score a brace. He could have had a hat-trick as well. Fernandes is claiming a goal. It may have been an own goal, but Leicester have had their moments. Conor Cody giving them a lifeline just before half-time. Garnacho as being one of United's diamonds this evening. A lot of verve, a lot of passion, a lot of entertainment at Old Trafford, and 6 goals to boot. Half-time score, Manchester United 4, Leicester City 2.